2 days after his wedding, the army came for him, and everyone said he died at war. But his wife never believed it, even when the world mourned him, even when they handed her his folded uniform, even when she stopped eating and stopped speaking and sat alone every day believing something no one else could see, because love sometimes knows the truth before proof arrives. And this is the story of a soldier who vanished into a river, a woman who refused to let go, and a reunion no one thought was possible. It had only been 2 days since their marriage, 2 days since laughter filled their home, 2 days since the smell of flowers still lingered in the air and her wedding bangles still rested on her wrists. Softly clinking every time she moved her hands, she would look at him and smile with a happiness that believed life had finally been kind. He was a soldier by uniform and by heart. That morning, he sat at the edge of the bed, tying his boots slowly, while she wrapped her arms around him from behind, resting her cheek against his back and whispering for him to stay a little longer. Half joking and half afraid, he smiled and told her he had waited his whole life to marry her, and he was not leaving her anytime soon. Then the phone rang, loud and sharp, breaking the warmth of the room. He answered and listened silently as his commander informed him of an urgent mission, a sudden deployment. When he ended the call, the room felt colder. She already knew and shook her head, saying no before he could speak, begging him not to leave so soon, reminding him they had just married, asking what would happen to them if something went wrong. He held her face gently and told her he had no choice, that if he did not go, someone else would, and that every step he would take and every breath he would fight for would be for her. She cried into his chest, holding on to him, as if love alone could stop time. But war does not listen to love. That night she watched him pack his bag, fold his uniform, and check his weapon. Every sound felt final. When it was time to leave, she followed him outside barefoot into the cold morning air. He hugged her longer than before, as if his body already knew what his heart feared to admit. He promised he would come back, and she promised she would wait. Then he walked away. The war zone was nothing like home. Dust filled the air. Gunfire echoed without rest. Fear lived in every corner. Their unit was outnumbered and surrounded. Retreat was the only option, but someone had to stay behind. Someone had to cover the escape. He did not hesitate. He shouted for his comrades to go while he held them back, firing again and again to protect them and buy time. Minutes felt like hours, until a sharp pain tore through his body. Then another shot hit him, and his legs gave out. His grip weakened, and as his vision blurred, he fell backward off a cliff, disappearing into the river below. His comrades tried to reach him, but the enemy was closing in, and they had no choice but to leave. Back home, she waited every day and every night, sleeping on his side of the bed, keeping his clothes untouched, answering every unknown call with hope shaking in her hands. Until one afternoon, soldiers knocked on her door holding his folded uniform. They told her they were sorry and that he did not survive. She did not scream or cry. She only whispered that they were wrong. They explained the battle and the river, but she refused to listen. For the next 7 days, she did not eat or speak. She sat by the window, staring at the road. People called it denial, but she kept saying one thing, that he was alive, because somewhere, deep inside her heart, she could still feel him. Far away, the river carried his broken body, until a fisherman noticed a hand still moving near the shore. They pulled him out and carried him to their small village, treating his wounds with what little they had. Days passed into weeks and weeks into months, until one morning his fingers moved and his eyes opened. When he remembered who he was, the first name he whispered was hers. Months later, she sat alone in the room, holding the bell they used to ring. When he came home, she rang it softly, and then again. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Her heart stopped as she opened the door and saw him standing there alive. They did not speak. They only held each other with tears, proving that love had waited and love had won.